Good morning, my YouTube family and friends. Good morning. Good morning. It's 9/11, people. It's September 11th. Today is the 21st anniversary of the bombing of the Twin Towers in New York. This morning, I want to contribute to this anniversary. I remembered quickly this morning when I woke up, and after I gave thanks, I remembered where I was and how things were back then. So people, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Support the MVP family so we can grow. Please leave a comment as to where you were on September 11th, 2001, how you felt, and how you compare how everything that evolved after that bombing until today. So yes, my people, I was a teacher in New York City on that fatal morning. I remember well how we're doing what we're doing, and I remember the principal coming to my classroom and explained to me what took place. But then technology wasn't big in classrooms, so we didn't even have a TV screen in our rooms. We didn't have cell phones like we do now. Even if we had a cell phone, it was a little prepaid phone, small phone. If you look on my on my shorts, you'll see that I highlighted one such one that was just enough in the middle of my hand. But that's what we had. We didn't have access to ready Wi-Fi, so we could see what was happening right then in real time. And so she came to the door. She had a TV in her office downstairs, and she came into my classroom and she said, "Miss Salmon, something happened, something bad happened." She says, "It's still on the news. If you want to run down and look at it, then I'll watch your class." But somehow I didn't get that urgency. I didn't have the urgency. I told her it was okay, and I continued teaching. After that, the other teachers who were Jewish, they were coming in and they were cussing the Arabs, and they were very disturbed because at first the news was somebody fell sick and ran the plane in one of the towers, and then it became clear a few minutes later that it wasn't an accident. It was done on purpose when the other plane circled and went slam bam right into the building. So the Jewish women were coming in and they were so upset, and they blamed the Arabs, and they were just very, they were tired of the things that they were doing and all of that. And after that, parents were coming in. People were down in Manhattan and who were close enough. They came in suit. They were filled with ashes, their faces, their bodies, their clothing, and they were coming in to pick up their students. Everybody was coming in to grab their kids and to go home. And then we got to come home, and we started to watch on TV and just watch and cried and watched some more and cried some more. I don't think there was too many dried eyes as they observed what was happening and watching people trying to jump or people jumping from hundreds of floors up, and just watching and listening to the stories as people came out and they were filled with ashes and soot. And the news continued all day. And everyone who had a heart, whether we had somebody in there or not, whether we knew anybody or not, our hearts were just broken. And all of us cried. We didn't cry for black or white or Asian or Indian, we just cried because something happened and it affected all of us. And today, as we celebrate this, as we remember what happened, after everything died down, how can we forget? How is it that we go back to the hating of different races and the prejudices and the unnecessary segregation and bitterness towards people? Why is it that people need to hate another race? What have they done? What is it that happened that, and I'm not saying what happened because a lot happened in history, but then tragedies come and we're all intermingling and we're all hurting because we are who we are. We're a human race. We hurt the same. And yet after it's over and we feel like things are good again, then all of a sudden we go back to the same old, same old. And it's business as usual. But why is it so? Why does it have to be like that? Why can't we continue to embrace and to uplift and to support equally? Why there has to be these disparities? You're in the teaching field, you see the difference. 70% of this race compared to 30% of the other race. And in the inner city schools, when 95% of the kids are one race, and we see 70% of the other race teaching them. Are you telling me that there isn't enough people of that caliber to teach the kids and for kids to see them in good places so they can aspire to become like me, like him, like her, like they, like them? Why does it have to be so undivided, so lopsided, so unnecessarily different? And day by day our children grow up and they don't have enough people that they can call out to or to see them in decent places. When 9/11 happened, nobody was looking at color. I'm not going to save you. I'm not going to save you. People were just jumping in regardless and doing the best they could. Firefighters were not just one race. Yes, the drizzle of others, it was a drizzle, but they all went in. They all went in. And the people who died, it wasn't just one race that died. It might be just a drizzle of the others because of the importance of those buildings and who were going in there every day. But the fact still remains that everyone was affected. And so as I thought this morning, and I thought of how we cried together and we mourned together and we were broken together. I pray that it doesn't take another tragedy like that, another hateful tragedy, to have people coming together and understanding the pain of each other. People, we're better than that, And we need to start learning to put away the hate, to put away the anger and the bitterness. I see sometimes even in relationships, people are not getting along. They've married or they're in a baby mama, baby papa relationship, and they're not getting along. People have outgrown one another. People who came into into relationships because of maybe financial reasons or whatever kind of reasons they came in. Some people get into marriages because they want to go to church. And when they go to church, church is not teaching them how to be loving and kind. Churches are teaching them things. I've never seen such anger as from those people who say they go to church. They're so bitter, they're so hateful. They're not kind and loving and peace, peaceful. They're always putting down and look and just the way they're so aggressive towards children and other people and then they get up and they say, "Oh, I'm going to church, I'm a Christian." Christ was never that kind of a person. And he gave all of us different spirits and but I didn't see one of those spirits, the spirit of anger and hate and grudgeful and bitter. He gave us hearts that were different. A lot of different fruits of the Spirit. Long suffering, meekness, kindness. But then they get into relationships and they tell people, "Well, I'm pregnant, I need to be married again." Yet they have nothing to offer a marriage, right? You're getting into a marriage, you have to realize that there's going to be give and take. A lot of communication has to take place. A lot of times things are going to change. The monies are going to run short and different things, but it's okay because you know what? I'm committed. And when you don't have and I have, it's going to be ours, not mine and yours, but ours. So there's a lot that needs to people need to have to offer a marriage. But a lot of people don't. They see somebody who's capable of providing and and they become their best self. And once they get in, then the ugliness evolves. There's no passion. There's no understanding. There's no support. There's no forgiveness. And these things we teach them to our children. Our children sees it and that's what they learn. And that's all they have to offer. And some people, even though it's not working out, they hold on because, you know what? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. What have you? And they hold on to the negative, and every day, every night, it's the negative that you see. The no care. There's no care. There's no respect. There's no love. There's no loyalty. There's nothing. Just emptiness. But they hold on to it. And they hold on and they're sad and they're lonely and it's hard. But they hold on. But why do they hold on? When Christ wants us to be thankful and hopeful and grateful and happy. God don't want us to be sad and all of that. When Lazarus died and the girl was there, that Mary was there, and he said, he didn't let her sit there. He wanted them to uplift themselves and feel good. I talked about the guy when he was sitting there every day. "Oh, nobody's helping me. The water is troubled, but there's no one to put me in there." Christ, when he came there, he didn't tell him, "All right, I know you've been there and nobody has been helping, so let me help you." He didn't do that. He wants us to get up and rise up. He said, "Get up, man, take up your bed and walk." So even if the man was really crippled and couldn't walk, but somebody empowering him to move away from the negative, move, get up and move. He was whole. And so sometimes we need to start telling ourselves that it's we don't need to feel the way we feel, because it's necessary that we feel comforted and feel good inside, and it shouldn't be about other people giving it to us, but we can find it for ourselves because we're independent. We're independent people, and we can create our own joys. We don't wait for tragedies to happen and then we're together, and then once the tragedy ends, then we go back to our old ways. Because who we are is who we are. So the leopard never changed its spots. So if we're mean-spirited people, no matter who we marry or no matter what friendships we form and no matter what jobs we work, no matter how much we make, we can't be satisfied and we cannot feel good because we're just bitter inside. So as I sit here and I remember 9/11, I'm looking at all things and just see how that also trickles into our daily lives and see how we must make changes in order for us to progress. So I continue on my journey, and as I said, it's not about the amounts, it's about how you feel. So if you walk and you get tired and you stop and you take a breath, it's fine. Just keep walking. And if you can't walk, as my great thinker, Dr. Martin Luther King says, he said, if you can run, then walk. If you can walk, crawl. But do something. Get up and do something, people. Move, move. Just keep moving. So today I celebrate all of you who have lost a pound or two. As I said, do not make your lives become a scale watching life because you're going to be disappointed often. Get up and do the things you need to do. Cut out the salt, cut back on your sugars, and move. Keep your minds open with positive and good things and get rid of some of the baggages that only bring negatives and ugliness to you on a daily basis. Get rid of those baggages and start loving yourself and lift up yourself and speak positives. And those of your parents, make sure your children are learning the right things from you because believe me, they do learn. And if you're one of those modeling the negatives and putting people down and calling people names and you're ungrateful, you're unkind, you're unthankful, that's what your children learn. So don't ever think that it's going to be different because, oh no, I do it, but I don't expect them to do it. No. What you do, you are their idols. And who they idolizes are the people and the things that they're going to be practicing. So when people think about 9/11, where were you? What were you doing? How has things changed since 9/11? Today I'm wearing my Black Lives Matter hat. And again, that's part of why I'm wearing it. Because as I said, when after the dust cleared, people went back to their hateful, ugly ways. They went right back to it. And the hate continued because of the color of people's skin. And the hate continued because of what you look like. You didn't fit the mold, so you weren't appreciated. And the hate continued. And then you have the opportunity gaps and you have the big jail cells that are waiting. Just waiting for those who didn't get an opportunity, who wasn't allowed to get the opportunity to just behave badly so they could end there. There's a posting in my community page where it talks about the lawyer. The lawyer doesn't care because all he wants is to make sure you're in trouble so he can work with you. That's when you see them. You don't see them coming out to say, are you hungry? Let me feed you. No, they're waiting for you to be picked up, to act badly so they can put you. Sometimes you didn't even act badly. And the police are there for whatever reasons, whether it's personal or otherwise, to bring you to that jail so that lawyer can come in and support you. And the doctors, what do the doctors do? They're waiting so that you can come and spend the big bucks. I have my tooth to go get fixed. Thousands of dollars, right? Thousands of dollars. And the morgues are waiting. Waiting. How much money today to bury a dead carcass that is just gonna rot How much money today are people shelling out when so many people are hungry? How many thousands of dollars for a fancy coffin to hold a rotting body where all the meat of the bones will dissipate and all that just sits there in the ground. You have so many living who are hungry, who are destitute, who are oppressed. Don't know where the next night's dinner is coming from, but we put hundreds of thousands of dollars under the earth for no reason. So let us rethink things, people. Let us think and let us live and let others live. But as I said in that posting, all of those people, they're waiting for something that you have to could do. But the teachers, they give you back. They give back and get so little. So as we think about these things, people, let's get up and start thinking in the right way, in the right form. Let us change our thoughts. Let us change our values. Let us include others in a good way. It doesn't have to be for any reason other than because they're human beings. Nothing attached, no strings attached. Nothing looking for in return. Just do because it's the right thing to do. As I said again, if you can't be good, be careful. But just keep walking good. Walk good.